Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you to Alte, thank you to Telk. We're very happy to have this chance to talk a little bit about our collaboration. Actually, I'm depending on her because she's our client. She's sponsoring, means the company is sponsoring the language course, the scholarship, the trip to Germany, and all the onboarding and integration process which is occurring later. So we like to work with these kind of employers, which makes a program very ambitious because we have only a limited time. For example, in this case, in our collaboration, the Mexican nurses, they start with no A0 of German as a foreign language, and they finish with a B2 level within 10 months. So you can imagine it is a quite ambitious program. Yeah. It is not only about 1,000 training units to reach that target, but also extracurricular activities, but I will talk about it. Yeah, gerne. So I would like to introduce the program very quick, talk about language learning and teaching in Mexico, and also speak about our very essential support, which is needed in this kind of ambitious program. And also share some ideas, some aspects and parameters of the lessons that we learned so far. We have started with our collaboration 2 years ago. The first batch has already reached Germany. The second batch is currently learning in Germany, in Mexico, and we are preparing for the third recruitment. So allow me to visualize a little bit. This is a picture, oops, sorry, das war ich. Und now? Okay, I don't do anything. So allow me to show the first batch, 11 young Mexican nurses, all holding a bachelor degree and having at least 2 years of experience. Most of them have been working before in hospitals, but Svenja is working for a big company, a senior residency. So how many stations do you have? How many residencies?
29.
29, so it's quite a big employer. As in many countries, taking care of elderly people with a degree holder, with a degree in nursery is not that common. So when we started the first project, we also had to persuade for this kind of career in Germany, and also to explain what is the content, what is the career actually meaning. But it was very easy because Svenja was there together with another colleague. You can see on the next page, Svenja, her colleague, and our academic coordinator are evaluating the interviews. They easily persuade because they are really offering good job placements with a lot of benefits. That also helps to make people stay. It is not only that we are teaching language as a foreign language for skilled laborers just to learn the language. We also want to make them stay in Germany. On the top you see a picture them holding the TELC exam. We have started the digital TELC exam. We are very happy to use this format for our B1 and B2 exams. And and this is our school in Puebla, which is 1.5 hours away from Mexico City. It's a safe place also for them to come and stay with us for a period of at least 10 months. The candidates, they don't necessarily come from Puebla itself. They come from the whole country. They come from the north, from the south, from the west, and from the east. Mexico is a very big country. They come from the cities, but also from the countrysides. Some of them, they come from very humble situations. Their background is an indigenous background. So imagine, they come to learn German in Mexico, have no idea what is Germany like. Yeah? They have never heard about Goethe, Kant before. So I agree, Sibylle, it is not about the language and the culture. It is of giving career opportunities for a better life, for a safer life. That is the only intrinsic motivation for them to enter these programs. And we are very proud that till today we have already taught, tutored, mentored approximately 500 nurses from Mexico who are already here in Germany, most of them happily working and living in hospitals and senior residencies, and some of them about to come. So, but what is also important to mention here is you cannot just concentrate on doing curriculums. You have to think of the whole setup. You have to think, who are your partners? You rely on good employers. You rely on, for example, Telk. You rely on good and qualified teachers. You rely on their families. And you rely on authorities, but also on the embassy. For example, the Mexican embassy. They have launched some very good programs for support in those cases that a Mexican nationally cannot find any further help by the employer, by their friends, or whatever. And it is very sad to say, but we can talk about it, that some of skilled workers, they come to Germany, but they will never go back and stay on Earth. We have some rate of suicides, what we are not talking, what we are not considering, because we promise some good labor working situation, and we are not talking about learners or about workers, but we are talking about human beings, and this is a huge responsibility. So what's the program about? Actually, what we brought in is the expertise. It was not the first recruitment program. You have already some experience with other countries. CDC, Carl Duisberg Centren, is teaching German as a foreign language already for 62 years. And with those expertise, we have been approached by the Federal Labor Agency in 2017 after a bilateral agreement between Mexico and Germany was signed to allow recruitment for medical professionals. Project management is also very, very important. You have to supervise the learning progress. And as you know, people learn in a different method, in a different tempo. So it is very essential to have a report on it and also a feedback, and then also some measurements to solve challenges that could appear during this time of project. Commitment and engagement is absolutely necessary. Employers like Svenja's employer, to keep the rapport, to keep the contact during that time while they are still in Mexico is so important. And nevertheless, whatever we learn now, we have to reflect again and maybe also to amend for better. So some more pictures of some learning situations. So let me just stress out on the target group. As I was mentioning, our candidates, they don't come only from one city, but they come from different areas, from different backgrounds. And for most of them, even Spanish is not their mother tongue. Many of them, they speak Nahuatl, Mixteco, their languages, and when they maybe came to university to study Spanish, to study nursery, it maybe was the first time for them to encounter a Spanish or an English experience. So that is the base where we have to start. Our learning objectives, yes, they are driven by the Common European Framework, but in fact, the learner will ask us, demand us, make me pass my certificate. that is their learning objective. So you have to find a lot of varieties to teach them. And once they have learned that it's not only about frontal class teaching, traditional class teaching, but it's also about using scenarios, no? Imitating their working field in classroom, encourage them for self-study moments, yeah? Also to make them responsible for their learning process success. This is something we have to arrange in this period of time while giving classes in German as a foreign language. So it's much more than only language training. Support is also very essential. We start mainly with a kickoff in Mexico, so Svenja and her colleagues are at least digitally there. We invite the family members just to make them accompany in this. Olaf, I think he was the one who was mentioning this transition phase. This transition phase has already started in Mexico. Yeah? Once they decide, I will go for it. I will go and follow this pathway that they are offering me. And believe me, we are there for 24 hours because it is not only to go to class, go back, do their homework. There are so many worries, there's a lot of fear, so many skepsis, mainly brought by the family members. Like we had one case, one girl, 9 boys, 1 girl in that family, 7 brothers went to the United States to work there as field workers, and they were telling her, well, little sister, you won't make it. Today, we had to persuade her. We had really to convince her. Today, she is working for one of the most well-reputed hospitals in Germany. She is really doing a great career. Her family has never supported her. That is so important why we have to think of all these accompanying modules, accompanying support, the tutoring and whatsoever, just to enable them to be strong, to let them be motivated till they find their way to Germany, not to make them doubt on themselves. We work also with psychologists, and in our first batch we had 3 girls. They took the offer to work on some traumata during that time. It was not seen before in that family, it was not spoken out, but they had this campus with us, let's say this safe area with us, also to work on some personal issues. They do fine. They worked on it. So it's far beyond language training only. What we learned so far is why doing the recruitments, we also, in the benefit and also for fairness reasons, we do a language learning assessment. Also to see whether this applicant is able enough to do the language course within 10 months. Yeah? Everyone is welcomed into the program, but Svenja is sponsoring, the budget is tight, not that tight, yeah, but it's also an economically reason we have to be fair to everyone. We look very close on the family background, as I was giving you these examples just now. We really focus on their learning biography in order to amend the curriculum every time we have a new batch with different participants. And nevertheless, as a language school there, we have to satisfy their faith, their expectation, their hope in a new bright future in Germany, while we have also to give them the necessary knowledge and also the language that they are going to need once they enter here. So this is from my part. I hand over to. You will invite. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Svenja Sanyang. I'm the head of the integration department of the DSG, Deutsche Seniorenstift Gesellschaft. The DSG operates 29 nursing homes in northern and eastern Germany since 2006. At this moment, 2,200 employees take care of more than 3,000 residents and customers. The DSG has been recruiting nurses from abroad since 2011. At this moment, 5% of our employees have been recruited abroad. In 2021, CDC and DSG start to collaborate to recruiting nurses from Mexico. The nurse can travel to Germany only they have passed the B1 or B2 exam. In Lower Saxony, they do a recognition course. The result is a professional nurse in Germany. The DSG supports the nurses by an additional 8-week language course, although they have passed already B1 or B2 exam in Mexico. The course takes place before they start the recognition course. Anyway, the B2 level is necessary to start the recognition course. Therefore, it is not recommended to come to Germany only with B1 level. It will increase the stress of the nurse. It is very difficult to communicate with the local people. And they have to learn the B2 level anyway. In addition, it will increase the cost for the employer too, as he can't make use of their manpower. The German language is a challenge in practice. The difficulties are vocabulary, the fear to make mistakes, to understand the local dialects, often difficult for German too, to understand the older people. Communication is the key working as a nurse. They have to talk with different peoples, the college, the doctors, and the residences. The language skills are always improved by practice, learning by doing. Colleagues and manager have to support the nurse by learning the local language. Language skills are important for the job, but writing is only on second place. They have to talk and to understand. Thank you for your attention.